I'm Mark Brown.
It's J. Duke.
And I'm Marquay McCullough.
And this is Mark My Words.
Ball is going to stop bouncing.
Right.
And what can you do after that? Can you transition to something else? People struggle because they just think they're going to play basketball forever. And they have no thought process of what am I going to do now?
Welcome back to Mark My Words, ladies and gentlemen. We got a hot one today, man. We got the man himself, Super Mario Moore, in the building. Mo, how you feeling, baby?
I feel good, man. I reached out to you. I was like, I like what you're doing.
Yeah.
I like what both of y'all doing. And I was like, man, I want to sit down on the couch and chop it up with y'all because I feel like I like the direction of the way everything going. And I feel like, we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. So we gonna pop it off, man. I'm gonna throw you in the hot seat right now. I'm gonna say 2 words and I'm gonna just let you go. You ready? LeBron James.
The GOAT. The GOAT. And look, and this is just my opinion.
Yeah.
And some of it's basketball, some of it's what he has been able to do for the modern day NBA player. Right. I'm gonna say obviously the elephant in the room is Michael Jordan. But there's no way a LeBron James teammate this caliber Scottie Pippen would have signed us 2 year, 7 year, 14 year, whatever Pippen signed.
Right.
If you look at what the power LeBron has given these players when he made the decision, was it the right thing to do? Maybe not, but the power he has given players, he has literally taken it away from the front office. He's given these players to sign this. Kawhi and all these guys signing this 1 year with the player option, or demanding a trade. What Harden's doing, or saying they want to play with somebody. I don't think it's frowned upon as much anymore because now you see what it is. The NBA had formed to beat dude. I don't remember anybody ever forming to beat Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? First of all, Jordan couldn't beat anybody from 84 to 91.
Right.
But everybody wants to say 6-0 in the finals, but he lost for 7 years.
Right.
Great guy, great player, the man. But LeBron is just gonna shatter all his records. He in year 19, 18. Still playing at the highest level.
Right.
Nobody can tell me a player who has been a top 3 player from 2007 until now. It always shifts.
Right.
When Jordan was in the league, Jordan was a constant, but then it was somebody else would come in, Akeem Olajuwon, or Shaq, or Penn, somebody.
Right.
Karl Malone, right? But LeBron has been this constant for 13 years.
Right.
He's been to 9 out of 10 finals. He's lost some, but he took them the Mavs series on him. He choked.
Yeah.
He did not show up on his record. He got to eat that. But everybody talking about that Warrior series. Think about it. That Warrior series, Kevin Love was hurt. Kyrie was hurt.
Right.
And he had he went 6 games with them. Then he come back and beat them the next year. Then they go get KD.
Right.
Which I think was the greatest team ever assembled. Anybody, Shaq and them say that they could have beat them, and the Bulls say they could have beat them. Man, wasn't nobody beating that team. And that's the do y'all not think that? Do y'all not think that's the greatest team ever assembled?
For sure.
KD, Curry, Clay, Draymond, and they had a strapped bench.
Right.
They were amazing. So I say all that to say, man, I just feel like LeBron, when he's done playing, he's going to own every record. I still think he got a couple more chips to go get. You know what I'm saying? I still think he can go do that. But just what he does for social justice and the leader he is. Michael Jordan never done that.
And I'm glad you mentioned that. And you give me your honest opinion. Why isn't any of this taken into the GOAT debate? You mentioned how he's advocated for the players. You know what I'm saying? My thing is he got Tristan, and I say this all the time, he got Tristan Thompson a max deal, and he's a trash. That's all he is a trash man. It's literally all
8
he
to
is.
4 million.
He got him a max deal, and all he is a trash.
He got Dellavedova for 38.
You get what I'm saying?
Boobie Gibson 30. We can go all day.
We can go all day. You know what I'm saying? The things he does off the floor. I mean, you know, he started school. He's social justice. Just the man. He's one of one, man. I don't understand why those things aren't taken into consideration when you have these.
And it's funny, right? Because people call Ali the greatest boxer, and Ali obviously lost, and he had some smudges. But it was more so because of Ali stood up for people at a time when we needed a leader.
Right.
And that is why he gave up his career. You know what I'm saying? Like, that means something to me anyway.
Right.
To me, for him to be on the front lines, for him to be going at the president, right? For him to be like, you know, when they tell him to shut up and dribble, and he makes this statement: we more than athletes. You can't tell us to shut up. You can't silence us. We got power. From what he's done for Rich Paul, like, now you see they trying to institute the Rich Paul initiative and all this stuff, to where they trying to suppress them boys because they know they own the market. Like, they own the NBA right now, meaning everything come through us. Even like the workout, everybody was mad because they had the ESPN workouts the other night, and he had all the players come, and they were mad about that. It's just like, dude has empowered so many people. So for me, it's like a no-brainer. Right. Like, for me, you know, I get it. Everybody wants to say 6-0 in the finals, and a lot of it's the eye test for like LeBron, Kobe, Mike, because I think that's like the constant of who the GOAT is. Right. And then some people say, older people say that, stuff like that. But I think it's the eye test, and I get it because sometimes LeBron James passes the ball. Sometimes you see this look in his face that I can say I've never seen on Michael Jordan. I've never seen that was a little doubt. You know what I'm saying? Right. I've never seen that on Jordan. I've never seen it on Kobe. Kobe had this, they just had this determined, I'm going to take the shot, hell or high water, and I'm going to live with it. Right. Bron makes the right play. Right? And we all teach people to make the right basketball. But he's the one that gets criticized for it. Kyle Korver's a shooter. He throw it to him in the corner. Man, he should have shot that. Or it might have been last year. They was playing somebody. I don't remember. They might have been playing Miami. And he had like 40. And he went to the hole and he threw it out to Danny Green at the top of the key. Me, personally, I was like, man, I shot that. I would have shot it. Yeah. But I get it. It's Danny Green. Danny Green holds the finals record for most threes in a game, until like Steph Curry came. Like, he's a shooter. Shooting over 40%. This is what he do. And you got 3 people on you. Why wouldn't I throw it to him? You know what I'm saying? But, like, they want him to take that shot. And I think it's because we've been conditioned to see time and time again, Game 6, Jordan walk off. Right. You know what I'm saying? We've seen Kobe do it. You know what I'm saying? That fist pump, like, we're conditioned, and that's what they want to see from LeBron. Right. Me and Pennant, head coach Tissue, we was talking about this, and he goes like, man, you know, I finally think I've accepted the fact that he's not going to play like Jordan. He's not going to play like Kobe, but he's great in his own right because he's doing it his way, and we just don't like the way he does it. But, like, I in the GOAT debate, I take all of that into consideration. What he's done for the people, what he's done for players, like what he's done for his community. Right. Like, Michael just started to get into this conversation. And there's Craig Hodges. This has always been a knock on Mike. Always been a knock on Mike. Now, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money or what you feel like, you know, you should do. Like, you know, Mike said that wasn't his lane. He didn't want to do that. Respect, understand it. But, like, you are Michael Jordan. Right. And sometimes, you know, heavy lies the crown. Some people have a lot more responsibility than others because of who they are. It's not fair. It just is. That's what comes with it. And I think he's accepted that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why he might go. And then my second will be out of Adison because that was just that's my boy. That's my boy right there.
Yeah, that's who got me dribbling the ball. So, but man, like you said, LeBron's been holding it down for 13 years, man. But as J. Cole says, everybody dies. Who you see is next up? Is it a vet Is it one of these young guns? Is it up and coming? Who do you see as the next guy, the heir?
I mean, you obviously have your obvious picks, which is KD, Giannis. Like the next step for Giannis is to win. You know, KD is one, but I think the next step for KD is to win as the leader. Now, he was the best player on that Golden State team, but he wasn't the leader.
Right.
Like, that was obviously Steph Curry's team. So now I think, like, those are the two obvious. But I think the game is in such great hands because you got the Lukas, the Trae Youngs, the Jamal Murrays, the Donovan Mitchells. You have those guys that are on the cusp of taking that next step. But I'm interested to see what a Luka, what a Jamal Murray does because of the playoff performances they had last year. Like, they went crazy. You know what I'm saying? And so, and Ja Morant. Like, I'm excited for those guys because, like, I feel like they're winners. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the NBA is in great hands. And yeah, he gonna come down, and then you got Anthony Davis sitting over there too. Who ain't no slouch either.
Yeah. You didn't mention Zion Williamson. Do we need a year? Do we need a year's work from him before we
I need to see it. I need to see it because I feel like he's too big, man. I feel like he need to go get hurt.
Yeah.
Like, but he's a superstar.
Right.
He's a superstar just because of what he was, because of what social media made him.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's lived up to it. And he's answered the door. You know what I'm saying? He's answered the call time and time again. But would I say, you know what I'm saying? Am I ready to say he's better than Luka? And no, you know what I'm saying? Or Ja, like Ja proved it last year, but Zion was hurt. No, not whatever. But the way Ja opened the season, 44, like I'm here. You know what I mean? Trae Young had 35 in like 3 quarters. Like these guys are. They putting it down too, so I think Zion's gonna be in that upper echelon. But I don't think he's there yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, KD, Giannis, all those guys are obviously the next L. And I'm not even mentioning Kawhi.
Right.
I'm not even entertaining that. He the man. He good, but I ain't entertaining that. I'm not even entertaining. I can't even do it. Hot at him. How they let Jamal Murray do it? Walked him down.
Yeah.
Walked him down.
Yeah, man.
And everybody in the league, because KD was out, literally had the audacity to say this man was better than LeBron.
Yeah.
Like, we hear that. Like, and Jimmy Butler. I like Jimmy Butler's story. Let me give a major shout out to Jimmy Butler because I love Jimmy Butler, man. I love what he stands for. I love the way he played the game.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't like to say this era. You know how people always want to compare eras and stuff, but I feel like he's an old school guy. Mm-hmm. Like, he's tough. He's like, he ain't these new school cats. Right. He don't want to be friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, man, I ain't. All these interviews, man, I ain't here to be friends with these cats. It's respect, it's love, but nah, that ain't what I'm here for. I'm here to hoop.
Right. I'm
here to play basketball. Like, you can tell, like, how he came up being homeless and all that stuff. Like, that breathe out of him.
And the JUCO kid too. So
that breathe out of him. You can tell, like, he walk, he wears a chip on his shoulder his whole life.
Yeah. And
you can feel it. So I love Jimmy Butler, but is he KD or Giannis? Probably not.
Right.
But he there.
We need to pause real quick because 2 of the guys beside you, they said Giannis is not a top 5 player in the NBA.
Skill. We're talking skill.
We talking skill.
Absolutely not.
Right.
Would you say
superstar dominant?
Skill, but see, that's a tough thing because skill. Would you say LeBron's a top 5 player? Absolutely not.
He can pass the ball really well.
But what I'm trying to explain to you is when we talking about skill, putting a hole, I'm gonna say KD.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Harden. I'm gonna say Kyrie. I'm gonna say Steph Curry. Skill, like handling the ball, shooting the ball, the way it looks. Like when you watch LeBron play, it's easy because he's strong and he's da-da-da. But I don't feel like when I watch LeBron, it's fluid.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's. Do you feel like it's fluid? I don't feel like. I mean, he's great. Like, because it's weird and like you accustomed to watching him play. But when you watch KD score, and you watch Kyrie score, it looks really.
It does. Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
It looks easy.
Like elegance to it. Yeah.
It looks like damn. How you do that?
I think with LeBron, as he gets going, as he gets in the momentum, maybe, but like from the tip. I think KD's first shot is always going in.
Yes.
Like when we speak of fluidity, that's like those are the type of guys where I'm like, okay, that's where LeBron may still have, room for improvement.
Yeah, but but I also think LeBron approaches the game different because
Right,
he's
right.
always filling out like that Clippers game, that first game this year. Like it didn't mean nothing. It was just like you was like you could tell he was filling out like how they play, what Ty Lue doing. Like you could tell,
Right.
but like you could tell like KD and Kyrie was like, all right, we've been out, we've been hurt. We got to get in the groove.
Right.
Like we ready to show what people was going on. Like we put this time in, let's show them what time it is, type thing. But like skill, Giannis is not highly skilled. Yeah. He's highly athletic, and he's very hard to guard. But what we always say when the playoffs come, the court shrink, and then he shows up. He shows up like he can't shoot, can't make free throws, and they trying to ISO him at the top of the court. Like you know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be hard for him to win the same way it's hard for Harden to win.
Right.
Yeah.
So switching gears a little bit, man. A question I like to ask, especially our local guys, especially our heroes, man. Just the growth of Nashville, man. It's obviously 2020 has been, or 2020 was rough. It's rough, but a lot of great things happen as well, and particularly in sports. You being a guy that's a staple, whose both feet are cemented, and sports or when in basketball in particular, what have you liked most about just the growth of the city and what we're doing right now?
The unity. I think this is the first year I've seen a lot of unity from trainers. I've seen a lot of unity. I'm laughing because
I see you smile. You said trainers.
I've seen a lot of unity from trainers, and a lot of unity from trainers.
Yeah.
And trainer is a very overused, saturated word right now because everybody trains. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to use the term teacher. Mm-hmm. Like the true teachers of the game have unified in a sense of like we needed each other. Like we were down and we needed each other. And I think AAG, Skill Wing, those type of things, they came together, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and Adrian, who's doing great things, you know what I mean? With his relationship with John Jenkins. Right. And like it's been really good to see those guys in the same gym because honestly, if I'm being just, open, I never thought I would see it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And now like, I think egos have been put aside and the common goal is like to take care of the player, to take care of the youth, to take care of the pro. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what is always going to put Nashville on the map. Right. It's the game. It's not going to be me, you, it's going to be all of us. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so I think this is the first time that I'm seeing, I feel like it's in good hands. You know what I'm saying? Like we've always had a lot of talent and we've always had people who could like push the culture forward. But now I feel like we listening to each other, and I feel like they are trying to do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm excited for it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited for it.
Yeah. No, we talked about the NBA a good amount, but give us your pros and cons on today's game on the high school and college level.
Pros, that basketball is always a constant. I think pros is like basketball is always going to be basketball. Like if you love the game and you like to play and you want to be something, you're going to work at your craft. The biggest con is social media. Social media, as we're on a social media platform.
Right.
I think the average kid is more interested in like the likes and follows and highlights as opposed to actually putting in the work. They feel like, oh, I got a mixtape now, so I'm something.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I got 1,000 views on this, blah, blah, blah. I'm something. But it's like, it's that kid over there that ain't got no likes and views that's grinding that you run into one day. Just like, oh, now what is it about? Let me see what this is really about. Let me see if this is really the guy from the video. Because as you and all of us know, I've never seen a missed shot or a turnover on a highlight film.
Right.
I've never seen that. So Me personally, I want to see what the eye test look like. I want to come sit down and watch you play. I want to watch a game and see what you really look like when it ain't a highlight tape. You know what I mean? So I think the to answer the question is, the pros is the game is always gonna be the game, and we're gonna keep getting better, and they're gonna have more access to, you know, people who are teaching the game and things like that. But it's like, man, social media has put a strain on it, because I literally was talking and asking about this when I walked in before you got here. I'm like, when he was playing, it was like the beginning of Facebook. Like Facebook was going on, but you had to go look at the paper to see how many he had, right? And it was a word of mouth thing. Like, damn, Jalen killing it at MLK. He averaging 30 over there. Let's go see what he doing. Right. And you had to go watch the game. It wasn't like he had 30 and then instantly somebody clipped up a film and then they could see, I could watch the highlights. Now you actually had to get in your car, go to the gym, wherever they was playing, and then, you know what I'm saying? I feel like he was a self-made guy. I feel like you were a self-made guy. Of like, it wasn't any buzz from a Facebook click or YouTube or anything like that. It was like, I had to really come see you play. Right. I had to really come see you start getting it in. You know what I mean? And like, so I feel like now it's so lost. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody is like instant gratification. I had 30, clip it up for me, put it on my Instagram, put a video music to it, and then let's see what's going on. Right. So I think it's ruined like the modern day kid, to be honest. But you know what I mean, some of them out there are killers. Some of them. And then some of them are not so much. Right. You know what I'm saying? Which we've talked about off camera. But like, you know, I think that basketball is always gonna be basketball, and at the end of the day, you can't hide from what's really true. Right. You always gonna be who you are. At the end of the day, like, you can look good in these moments, but when the pressure on, we're gonna see what you really made of. So I think that, you know, it's some give and take to it.
Kids, make sure y'all take that in, man. It's wise words from a legend himself. You know, speaking of, we're gonna take it back to the youth, and man, hopefully I don't bring out no gray hairs, man. But taking it back to your youth, man, we're gonna go back to the Yacht, man. We're gonna go back to Antioch, man. Man, I can vividly remember being a kid, elementary. You know, obviously, you know, you and my Uncle Spence and, you know, Jamal, y'all are great friends. You know, I mean, y'all done done a lot together. You know what I'm saying? It's not even what you guys are doing now, what you started and what's turned into now, but even back then, playing against each other, playing with each other. I could remember, like, sitting in my desk, just waiting on, you know, 3 o'clock, 3:30, whatever, and I'm just like, man, I'm about to go see Makewood and Antioch play tonight. And I knew walking into the gym during warm-ups, I just like, dang, that Mario Moore dude just got a bounce to him, and he's smiling, and he gonna do his thing, and he gonna talk to you while you doing it.
I love, but I just like, man, like, shout out to that age of Metro basketball, first of all, because now you can't duplicate that. You can't do that anymore. Like, I remember even before I played. So, like, you know, I'm a big student of the game, right? And I love the people who came before me, and I love the people who came after me. Meaning the Mingo Johnsons of the world. Like, Mingo was my hero. Marcus Kenza, I looked at the Marcus Kenza, like, idols become your rivals type thing, right? Marcus Kenza, Ty Reed, you know, Odell Bradley, Ron Slate, all of these guys who, like, paved the way, Orlando Springer. There was so many basketball players before me that I remember going into these gyms, and it was standing room only to watch these guys play. Like, man, I'm talking about, man, I'll never forget the district tournament, McGavick versus, not McGavick, at McGavick, but it was Glencliff versus Hunters Lane. I mean, like, and you had to stand in the door because there was nowhere to sit. You feel what I'm saying? And to watching Marcus Kenza go and get 30, I'm like, man, I want to be that, you know. So I had the opportunity to go to BA. I had the opportunity to go to FRA. I had the opportunity to go to these. I was like, well, Antioch ain't nothing. We were never good. So I was like, well, shoot, let me see if I can put Antioch on the map. Let me go over here and see what's going on. We had a good middle school team. Everybody going to Antioch. Let me see what we can do. Right. So I went to Antioch my freshman year, and I won a starting position as a freshman. You know what I'm saying? The senior actually quit the team. Shout out to him. Appreciate him. You know, so he quit, and then so I played from day one. I played, you know, the whole game. You know what I mean? And we were not good my freshman year, but my sophomore year we went to state. And like, shout out to James Cage. Rabbit came from Hillsborough to Antioch.
Mm-hmm.
So when he came to Antioch, we had, I would say we had the best backcourt, in one of the best backcourts in the state at the time. And so we went, 30-5, something like that. But like, it was standing room only. So like, we would go, we playing, and I know I'm sure you remember these names, but before Spencer and them became on the scene, it was Wimp and Monolito and Eric Pillow. So they had a squad. Like, they was tough. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then Spencer and them came in behind them, and it was Spencer, Miles, Bubba. So all of these people, like, it was just like an influx of players that was coming in the pipeline. Now everybody going to a private school, which is nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But I just feel like, and then you can see why. I mean, it's 2020 and everybody is playing but Metro. How? I don't.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, man. But I just like, man, basketball back then, from 98 to 02 when I was playing, was crazy. Like, it was highly competitive. DeMarco Pope, you know what I'm saying? They had Miles and Jeremy Stevens, and you know, they had a squad. And you can go to McGavick, and they had players. Like, it was no easy game in the district. Like, it wasn't like, you know, when you might have played some games in high school, you might be like, man, we're going to play such and such. We're gonna smack them. We ain't got to shoot up tonight. We're going to smack them. But like, if you went and played a team that was middle of the district, they get hot and beat you. So you had to bring it every single night. Every single night. So like, that golden age of like Metro was like crazy, man. But you know, at that time, like you mentioned, like me smiling, and I just love playing basketball. I love hooping, and I love competing against Penny, and it was my friends Hassan, and you know what I'm saying. But it was like bragging rights. It was like, man, I see you. Man, I killed you last night. You know what I'm saying? And they, man, I killed you. I would kill y'all. Y'all sorry. You know, it was a genuine like competition and love. You know what I'm saying? And like, now it ain't like that. Now it's like, you know, you got maybe 2 kids sprinkled out through schools that you probably going to see play. Like Kane Reed, you going to see Brandon Miller play. You know what I'm saying? At Pearl, you was going to see Pearl play last year. But it wasn't like, you was going to see Pearl and East. Right. But they beat everybody. They won the sub-state game by 50 points. Right. Like, it's unheard of. Like, it never would have happened when we was playing. Yeah. Like, it just never would have happened. Now, shout out to Pearl, because they had a hell of a team. Yeah. If you ask anybody, they would say that's the best Pearl team ever, which I would say the best Pearl team ever was Ron Slade, Big John, Terry Reynolds, and those guys. Like, they were BT. Like, man, and I'm just naming these names. Eric Parham at Hillsborough. I could go on for days and days.
But going back to social media, though, I think social media, as great of a tool it is, and I think I've mentioned this in another episode, it helps you forget like this.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? Because now with us having so much access and everything is so instant, you know, and that was, you know, we're talking basketball that was 1, 2, 3 decades ago, but at the same time, like, basketball guys, we know.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But for the average spectator, it's so much going on with social media, and it's instant. We quickly forget that, you know what I'm saying, that this guy or this group or this program was
good. Yeah. It was nice. But credit to y'all, though, because I was talking to him about Adison about this before when I came in again, too. I'm like, I appreciate you putting a spotlight back on kids, because it's almost like Metro became a forgotten whatever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was speaking about Metro kids. They would, you know, they was going to see the private schools. But now we're actually seeing the resurgence of kids that can play. Right. And it's good to see it. And it sucks that it had to come through social media, but it's great because it's a platform that we desperately need. Right. Because if we had Game of the Week or something, you know, Maplewood versus whoever, Antioch versus Glencliff, whatever. And that was, you might see that on Channel 2.
Mm-hmm.
But it was 10 other good games going on, or it was 10 other great players playing that now you get to see again. Right? You get to go see all of this film and this content that y'all are putting out. So it's great because I feel like it may prompt somebody to want to stay at a local school.
Right.
Which is needed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's needed desperately because right now everybody's just going to BA or Ainsworth or, you know what I'm saying? They going to FRA, CPA.
Yeah.
And they don't even give the local school a chance. But we have to be, Metro has to be better. So Metro has to be better. They have to have better coaching. They have to have better budgets. You know what I mean? There has to be more of an emphasis put on the kids.
Right.
And I don't think that's the case right now.
Right.
So.
Transitioning to post-high school, man, Vandy, which I think I read in your bio on Twitter, man, Vandy legend. I do my homework. I do my homework. I do my homework.
So
man.
Vandy for me was a great experience. I committed to Vanderbilt when I was 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So I committed to Vanderbilt when I was middle of my sophomore year of high school. And I just knew for me that it was going to be a great situation. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to stay at home. I wanted my mom to be able to come and see me play. Because shout out to my mom, man, for everything she's done in my life. She never missed any game I've ever played, besides when I went overseas. She never missed a college basketball game, and you know what a SEC schedule looks like.
Right.
Tournaments, she was everywhere, right? So I wanted to stay at home. I wanted to have her see me play, and then I also wanted a good education. And then I was playing at that, in the best conference in the country at the time. Vanderbilt, man, it was a grind because that was a school that we had to put on the map too. Like, when you come and when you say Vanderbilt, when you say SEC, you think Kentucky, LSU, you think these bigger schools. You don't think Vanderbilt, right? So that was like a challenge for me. I was like, okay, let's see if we can get guys to come here. Let's see if we can, the guys that are already there, and let's see what we can do. And we were able to, one of those years make the Sweet 16, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. Like, man, I don't remember specifically the basketball games, but I do remember the relationships that I built with my teammates and the bonds we still had to this day. It's never anything about basketball. Yeah. It's all about, we became brothers, you know what I'm saying? Right. We became brothers through the ups and the downs and the struggles, and we depended on each other. We leaned on each other. Yeah. And Vanderbilt was just, I was in the city, so it was great that I had access to still see my family, my friends, and you know what I mean. But Vanderbilt was, it was tough too because it was a hard ass school.
Yeah. And speaking of that side of it, we like to give an educational tip.
Yeah.
Man, I often hear a lot of people talk about, Vanderbilt and just having Vanderbilt on your resume. That opens up so many doors. And shakes so many hands and. Man, just kind of talk about just that, man, just having, not so much from a basketball standpoint, but just having Vanderbilt on Mario Moore's resume.
That education, man, was so big for me because it's funny now, like, I could be sitting in a room and I got on a hoodie or, I got on a jogging suit like I got on now, and they be like, oh, where'd you go to school? Oh, I went to Vanderbilt. And they go, oh, like,
right.
And it's like, it changes the conversation.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, they are like, oh, now they talk to me with a little bit more respect, right? Because obviously we know as young black men, sometimes we have to code switch to be able to survive in that game, and you have to, know your surroundings and when to turn it on, when to turn it off. And I just think that the education I was provided has just been able to put me in any room, and I feel confident to be in any room with any level of person, right? And so I would say to the young kids, man, like, education, because that ball stops bouncing. Yeah. Whether you want to believe it or not, whether you think you're going to play pro for 100 years or whatever, the ball is going to stop bouncing.
Right.
And what can you do after that? Can you transition to something else? And I think a lot of times people struggle because they just think they're going to play basketball forever. And then they have no thought process of, what am I going to do now?
Right.
And so they get depressed, they lollygag around, and I'm saying this because I went through it.
Right. Right.
Because I thought I was gonna be pro, and I thought I was gonna be this, and I did. It didn't turn out. You know, God had something else for me.
Right.
And so, in knowing that, I had to figure out. I had to go back to the drawing board and figure out what my next steps were. What was I gonna do? And I just reverted back to basketball in the sense of it's one of the greatest life teachers. It's like you think you're great, and somebody humbles you. You think you can do X, Y, and Z, and you can't do it.
Right.
And so I just have learned so much with basketball that it's transitioned for me into the corporate world. And it's funny because the VP of my company now goes, man, you run your team, the people that work with me and work for me. He goes, man, you run your team like you coaching basketball. And I'm like, yeah. It's all connected.
Right.
Like, you know, it's business. It's all a business. And it's how can I maximize the potential, and I hate that word, but how can I maximize the potential of the people around me to make them better? How can I make this person better at what they do every day?
Right.
And you just tap into it. You figure out everybody's different, what they're good at, and you push towards that, right? And so I do that when I work every day in business.
Yeah. So
business.
Am I hearing you say you the LeBron James of your company?
Corporate America, man. Corporate America, you know, like corporate America. I'm thriving.
Yeah.
And it has everything to do with what I've learned with the game of basketball. And also, I feel like I'm a pretty smart, savvy guy, and I pick up on things. Like as you could, you know what I mean? You could go anywhere in this world, and I feel like y'all gonna be successful.
Right.
One, because of how y'all were raised, the family you guys got. I know both of your families, both great families, and I feel like y'all got like a structure. You know what I mean? And you know how to adjust and adapt, and when things aren't right, you know how to get out of it. And this is just me and you speaking, like, because I don't think we ever spoke on shorter.
Right.
Like, I understood that wasn't for you.
Yeah.
And in no way was I mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, that wasn't for you, and you had to get back to where you were comfortable.
Right, right.
And sometimes I think we try to force situations that don't work, and you become miserable, and you just sitting there. So sometimes you got to figure out, what is for me?
Yeah.
What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Where am I at? Like, same for you, probably like when you was at TSU towards the end of it, you probably felt like you needed a better situation to where you could showcase who you were.
Right.
Like, and this is just raw talk.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
And that happened to me. You know what I'm saying? I was coaching the short, and I was like, I don't feel like I'm maxing out what I can do. I got to move around and get to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I got to figure out who I am, what I want to do, what I need, what's going to make me happy.
Right.
And also, how can I make money and live comfortably
Yeah.
and take care of myself, you know what I'm saying? And you have to figure out those things. Nobody else can tell you that. You know what I'm saying? You can have all the mentors in the world, but nobody at the end of the day is going to tell you what's in your heart and what's in your spirit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like, I say that to you to say, like, you know what I'm saying? I love you, and I appreciate you standing up for yourself.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you stood up for yourself. It wasn't for me. Like, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? You landed well, because you always going to land on your feet, because you're a smart person, and you're talented, and you're strong, and you come from, like, you don't want no handouts. You don't want nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You going to work for it, and you're going to go back and get it. So, like, I just want you to know, like, from me to you, we never ever spoke about this.
For sure.
Like, I'm proud of you. You
Appreciate
know what I'm saying?
man.
I'm proud of you. You know what I mean? Like,
Appreciate it.
it's just like y'all have been, you know, that's the part of Nashville basketball that I'm excited to be about. Nothing about basketball.
Right.
It's about, like, boom, I can help you, you can help me, we can help each other, we can take care of each other. And that I don't care if a kid scores 100 points or if a kid learns that from individual workouts he figured out that he's a hard worker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because I can tell you in an individual workout if you're a hard worker or not. Like, and that correlates over into what you do at school. It correlates into what you do at your job. It correlates into how you treat people. All of it's connected.
Yeah.
But it is, man. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like, that's what's made me successful, is realizing that you gotta go get it, man. Ain't nobody gonna give you nothing.
Right.
And they look at us a certain way. They expect us to act a certain way. And when we don't, it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, he got a little bit more to him.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting here, I'm looking at entrepreneurs.
Yeah, man.
I'm looking at the grind, and I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah.
Sorry to go on a tangent.
No, you good. No, we appreciate you, man. But
Yeah.
and as we close, now it's actually just and not to dive too far into that situation, but it was actually a moment that's shorter that stuck with me, and that's gonna stick with me for the rest of my life. And I heard your voice in the back of my head, and it was I was, as dark of a situation as that was, and I had some things going on off the court as well. I still wasn't holding up my end as I could and as I should have. And we were getting ready to practice one day, and I was joking around with Didi. And I was joking around with Didi, and you walked in the gym from the opposite end, and you see us smiling and joking, and you was like, hey, He was like, don't talk to Mark. Don't talk to him. And we all, it's Mo, he cracking joke. But you had the most serious look in your face. Like, don't talk to Mark. Leave him alone. Don't mess with him. And everybody was like, what are you talking about? He was like, he ain't here right now. He ain't grinding. He's not here doing what he's supposed to do. I mean, and in that moment, I was just like, man, come on, Mo. Like, you know what I got going on, and you know the situation, and whoop-de-whoop, and this, that, and the third. But once I removed myself from that situation, and even till now, I'm big on paying homage, man. I want to thank you because that moment was, and then you saying that to me, that was an alarm clock. Because, now, I have a daughter. I'm about to start a family. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I have to get it. I gotta grind. I can't, life is.
You can't be disconnected.
You know what I'm saying? Like, life isn't going the way that I want, or this ain't my job, or my salary, my bank. I have no room for that. You know what I'm saying? And at times where I do feel like, and which we all fall accustomed to.
Absolutely.
At times where, I feel like I'm kind of slipping, or I'm in the days, or, I'm in my slump. I hear that voice of Mario in the back of my head, like, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to grind. You got to go get it.
Because guess what? People depend on you. You know what I'm saying? People love you, and I probably handled it wrong. But at the time, I was frustrated because I know what you're capable of, and you know what I'm saying. I hate that word potential, but like I knew you weren't maxing out. You know what I'm saying? And I knew you had let life beat you up. You feel me?
For sure.
And sometimes we let life beat us up. And, like, you can't let life beat you up because people are always going to have something to say. People are always going to feel a certain way. They're going to always judge what you do. That you should have done it this way. You should handle yourself this way. You should carry yourself in this manner. Like, everybody's going to have something to say. But, like, I felt like I needed to hold you accountable at that point, whether you was going to stay there or not, whether you was going to do whatever. I didn't care. But I just wanted you to go forward and not let life beat you up. And I was saying that to y'all because I come from a place of raw emotion. Like, I let life beat me up, right? And I'm like, I'm gonna be damned if I let life beat you up, because it beat me up.
Right.
And I remember it took me when I went through my situation at Vanderbilt, and not to dive into that, but when I went through my situation at Vanderbilt, I remember it took me 2 to 3 years to recover. Depressed, sleeping, didn't grind, Man, it was out there, didn't have $1 in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like, didn't have nothing. And I had a Vanderbilt degree. And so I had to pick myself up. I had to let life beat me up. Had I go back now, I would never let anybody control my circumstances. I would never let any situation say, all right, man, you lost. You ain't good enough. You can't do X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody ever takes anything from me, it's just like fight. You know what I'm saying? Keep fighting. You know what I'm saying? You can't win everything, but you got to compete. Right. You got to keep fighting. You got to keep showing up. Because every day ain't going to be good. Every day ain't going to be great. But what is real about this life thing is you got people who going to love you, help you, care about you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you got to tap into. You can't be selfish enough to say, oh, man, just da-da-da. Because you really hurting other people who poured into you. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't thinking about me and your relationship. I was thinking about, like, damn, Spencer and Jamal and, you know, everybody who want to see you win. That's what I'm thinking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you decided tomorrow, like, man, I'm just going to go through the motions. What you think your pop going to say to you? It ain't going easy.
Right.
It ain't going that way.
Right.
You feel me? Hey man, don't nobody care about that. You know we care, but don't nobody. Life don't care. Yeah. They don't care.
Keep pushing.
The world keep going, keep pushing, and you gonna figure it out. And I promise you, if you keep grinding, doing what y'all doing now, you gonna put yourself in the right rooms because you authentically doing it out of love. You genuinely doing it for the culture, and it's gonna pay off. It may not pay off right now, it may not pay off in 2 years, but it's going to pay off because you're doing the right thing. And that's what I think is just like the most important, man. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I've learned from basketball. Like, I've watched y'all start a brand. You know what I'm saying? I've watched him just grind to his content. Looks as if I can't tell it any different from, you know, Ball is Life. Or, you know what I'm saying? I can't tell it. I'm rocking with this. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I like to see. That's what I like. You know what I'm saying? And I tell people all the time, I'm like, man, them boys doing their thing. You know what I mean? And for me to be able to say, I know him, not to like brag, but like, I know him and I've seen
the transformation.
That shit that's dope, bro. Like, it's so dope. When I tell, like, it is, man, it's like, I genuinely be like sitting back in the house, I'd be happy, right? I'd be like, man, that's cold. Yeah. Like when I see Jamal and them and I see, you know, the Mookie thing the other day on ESPN, I'm like, man, I'm happy. When I see Marcus grinding and Crystal wins Rookie of the Year and Alicia wins Defensive Player of the Year, I'm like, and I know Mark and I know Jamal, right? And so I'm sitting here and I go, I know neither one of them want any credit for anything, but the part you played in that is huge. Yeah. So it's like, I'm like, man, that literally makes me happy. That's why I be in the house. I be like smiling, crying. I be clapping, you know what I'm saying? Yelling at the screen. I be in Dallas, man. I be like, man, I wish I was back home to be in that moment. Yeah. Because that's what it's about. And y'all, I'm just proud of y'all, man. Like, for real. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you, man. Like I said, you know, just hometown hero, as Kenzo, as Marcus Kenzo like to say, man. Appreciate everything you've done for the city, man. We appreciate you, man. We love you. And appreciate you coming to rock us with us on the show, man.
I appreciate y'all having me, man, for sure.
Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, mark my words, stay tuned.
What's going on, everybody? It's Jay Duke.
My name is Mark Brown.
Hey, bro, come on, turn up, man. You gotta wake up, bro.
What's good, y'all? My name is Mark Brown.
Make sure y'all keep watching, man. We got great content on the way. Make sure y'all keep checking us out.